Howdy YouTube. I'm going to attempt a book review. The book is Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. A little bit of backstory. I read this book about 5 years ago, so it's not very fresh in my mind, but it was really special. It was given to me by a longtime friend, a woman about my mom's age, maybe a little bit younger. Her name's Sandra. When my little brother and I, my mom, we lived in an apartment in Naples, Florida. Her and her mom lived together in the apartment below. Sandra and my mom butted heads at times because Sandra is a very, very kind soul. She had like these big rabbits that they used to harvest the fur and spin into yarn. And her and her mom were like hippies, essentially. And she was really kind and funny and good to my little brother and I. She suffered from migraines, and so did my little brother Nick. And so she was able to like give some advice and just some kind words and comfort when times were tough in our little apartment. Won't get into that, but long story short, this book, its title, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. I can say that like this did have like a serious impact on my life. I read it at a time where I needed to make some changes, to say the least. We'll say I was in treatment for some issues. But I guess I'll start off by saying, like, reading what Sandra wrote to me in the front cover. Dearest David, I heard Wayne speak at Unity of Naples a long time ago. What impressed me about him was his radiant energy, his constant growth throughout his life. He was willing to challenge his old ways in order to step forward in his life and spiritual journey. Focus on you. God has great plans for you if you are willing to try. I love you with all my heart, all my love, Sandra. She's a really special lady. She is actually a potter, like a very gifted at working with ceramics. And that's another thing her and Nick connected on. I remember like, an example. My mom had broken a tooth around Christmas when I was probably like 12 or 13 and couldn't really afford to go get it fixed immediately. And it was just like terrible tooth pain. I'm sure a lot of you know is a special kind of insidious pain. Sandra came over like a little, not on Christmas morning, but a little after, made Nick and I breakfast. It pissed my mom off. She was, pretty grumpy as usual, but like extra grumpy with a broken tooth. But it's just the type of person Sandra was. She's infinitely loving. Like, and Nick and I, being like Mormon boys, this like older hippie woman had like a totally different perspective on just everything, essentially, and really was like rooted in love. And so getting this book from her, it was really special because I was in a super dark place. I won't get into it, but I had nothing going on, and it was, I don't know, meant to be that she thought of this book for me, wrote such a nice note. Also, she said, P.S. I love this book. I did as well. I had already been learning quite a bit about self-mastery, trying to change some things about myself that were doing damage to me and my family. Podcasters, other books, YouTube videos, all kinds of stuff. Just like had never really taken root. I was always trying, like, especially like for my age at the time, like 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, really trying to like turn things around, figure out what it was essentially to like be a man, to be responsible. I remember Googling like how to stop thinking so much, or how to get out of bed in the morning. And it led me down rabbit holes. And like, That rabbit hole at one point led to this book, and I thought I'd share it with you. Again, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. I going through this book, I underlined a whole bunch of stuff, like every other page at the time I found inspirational. Just to be honest, I didn't really feel like diving that deeply into anything. So I just picked a couple of passages, and I found one right here that's actually pretty cool. A couple of passages, so like give you a little taste of what the book entails, and I promise you, like, if you can read it and like set aside, anything that like you disagree with, that might, like, spirituality, like, loving everything and like being perfectly like, at peace. In today's world, like, it's pretty tough to do, but it can calm those voices. It can like give you a little more resilience. It did for me. Something clicked. Am I perfect? Has it like worked out magically ever since I read this book? Did it change my life 180 degrees? No, obviously not. Nothing will. But it's a good tool. So anyway, there's the dude. Got a cool name, Dyer. Don't know if I'm gonna pronounce it right, but here we go. You literally own nothing and no one. All that is composed will decompose. All that is yours will leave and become someone else's. So like, this life, it's beautiful and liberating, and also tragic that our lives really kind of don't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things on a geological time scale. None of what we do in this life matters. So like, take solace in that. Like, do your own thing. Like, do what calls to you. Be healthy. Try to be happy, but happiness comes and goes. Here's another thing he said. Stay under the radar and you'll outlast all those who strive to be recognized. You won't end up alone in your trophy room. That's one thing, I kind of think about. It's like, I heard once that like there's an actor on Broadway. I don't know the name, but I'm not an actor, but I imagine like making it to Broadway is like pretty peak. And they had a very long and successful career. And like that person on their deathbed said so much wasted time. And that kind of stuck with me. Like, wanted to make sure my life meant something. Not like change the world or anything, but like maybe nudge it a little bit towards the good. Make every effort to stay in a state of oneness in your mind. For example, if you're tired, remind yourself that you know what being rested is like. This I use quite a bit. Like, I've been through a lot. Trust me when I say I've been through a lot. And having that also in my toolbox when I've run into issues, I can just be, dude, like, you've been through much worse. And you're still here. Fortunately, unfortunately, like, it is a battle every single day, but like, it's worth it. Cultivate your relationship with the planet. This means respecting the environment in every way by living in an earth-friendly manner as a part of its oneness. Like that, like whatever, recycle, are you kidding me? Like drive an EV, not gonna happen. But growing a garden, getting sunshine, going fishing, going hunting, going hiking, being out in nature, enjoying what this earth has to offer, like that's a natural cure-all. Eating good food. Don't eat like some vegan fucking slop. Eat real stuff, what our ancestors ate. You'll be strong. You'll be healthy. Trust me. A man's life brings nothing unless he lives in accordance with the whole universe. I don't know why I underlined that. Honestly, living in accordance with the whole universe is a big task. It's all random. So how are you ever supposed to live in accordance with a bunch of randomness? I underlined it. It meant something to me at the time. Now, not so sure. This is super hippie. See yourself in everyone you encounter, in every creature on your planet, in the forest and the oceans and the sky. The more you do, the more you'll want to stay in the state of cooperation rather than competition. Yeah, definitely don't like what I got out of that right now. cooperation rather than competition. Like comparison is the thief of joy. Like I knew a guy who like built race cars, and like at the time I was living in Flint. I was a machinist. Had like a Pontiac G6. You know, it was the fastest car I had ever owned at the time, and I was kind of like, man, you know, like teach me about racing. You know what? You know, how do you get into it? What do you do? Blah blah blah. And he was just like, He's like, there's always somebody with more money. He's like, you can get into it if you want. It's not a poor man's sport. But racing cars, like there's always someone with more money. Like, yes, drivers are highly skilled, you know, they can, you know, beat each other off the line, stuff like that. But, you know, comparing yourself to others, like it can be such an ugly thing. I still do it. People I work with, people in my family. It's become much easier for me to push that away though, because like it's just pointless. Like, you know, what did Neil Young say? Nobody knows what it's like to be me. Like, don't pay attention to what other people are doing. Like, focus on your four walls. Let's see what else I underlined for some reason. All that composes also decomposes, and whether anyone else understands that is important to you. You find the awareness that life on earth is a death sentence to be a liberating and amusing viewpoint. Yeah, it is. Life on earth is a death sentence. It is funny, it's beautiful, it's tragic, but it like, most of all to me, it's liberating. Like nobody gets out of this alive. Like we got one shot to waste it or at least try and do something somewhat meaningful. Even if you're the only one that finds meaning in it, it's important to like push out, you know, depression and like anxiety and all those negative emotions. If you find something that's like meaningful, like it can really help. And like when you end up dead or you're laying on your deathbed, like hopefully surrounded by the ones you love, like you don't want to be like, God damn, so much wasted time. You want to be like, you know, I gave it a good shot. My kids or my nieces or whoever is there with you, if anybody, you can just be like, look, I'm ready for a nap. You know, I've been through it. I did my best. Like, you guys will be fine. I'll see you on the other side. And I can say that with confidence. Like, I'm not going to get into it now, but I've had a lot of people super close to me pass away suddenly. Not talking grandma and grandpa and all that shit. I'm talking people right there next to me daily, all of a sudden gone. And it is brutal, but they are only gone physically. There is something more than just this life. I can say that with a lot of confidence. We already talked about this. A resolution to exercise or eat more nutritious foods is a step taking you back to the well-being from which you originated. A step taking you back to the well-being from which you originated. You know, eat like our ancestors did. Like, I'm going out on a limb here, but I would think like our ancestors like weren't super hyped about like having to like dig up roots and like, you know, crush green things into like an edible paste in order to survive. I'm pretty sure when they got a kill, like, you know, harvested an animal, so to speak, it was a celebration. It was much better than picking around in the dirt for something to eat. And so yeah, I'm not gonna say eat how I eat, but like it's worked for me. Like cutting out like especially sugar. Sugar it's bad for me. With like the type of personality and the history I have, for some reason, eating sugar just like sends me in a tailspin. Like but after a couple of days without it, it becomes really easy to resist. Anyway, a decision to suspend your ego and take interest in another person is movement of moving back to the Tao. The Tao, I can't remember exactly what he called it, but I'm pretty sure it's like a guiding light, a spirit, maybe like a God or like the universe, something. And many times in the book he says, Tao, guide me now. And I use that when times are really tough, even still to this day. Like when I'm like really sweating, I'll just be like, I don't even know what it means, but it helps. I'll just say, Tao, guide me now. And I'll pray to like my own God, you know, whatever that means, you know, guide me, Lord. It helps. And I mean, long story short, like this book really helped like unlock a bunch of lessons had already learned, but like had never like coalesced into something like useful. You know, I was still making the same mistakes, still making the same decisions, still like pissed about the dumbest shit. Like, and like this book, I can say like really like helped a lot of things click. Again, it hasn't been a gravy train since then, not even close. But it was very, very useful. It did, you know, as advertised, change my life. You know, it changed the way you think about things, reframe. It's super helpful. I think this is as he's talking about like, well, changing your thoughts. Your world will begin to become tranquil as you change your own life and then touch the lives of your immediate family, your neighbors, your coworkers, and ultimately your nation and the entire planet. Spread the love, plain and simple. Like, you know, there's obviously like the golden rule: do unto others you'd like to do on your, or you know, treat others the way you want to be treated. Sorry, I got distracted. Like spreading the love, like being able to heal from the inside, it'll allow you to like have like an abundance to give to other people. And like, and it's nice because people got tough lives. It's ridiculous out there. Only getting crazier. Part of the reason why I started like filming myself talk to a phone in a basement. Maybe this will help somebody. But I was once, like somebody once told me, I think this is a guy named Spencer, if I remember correctly. He said you can't, and I don't know how true it is, but it seems applicable right now. He said like you can't really like just like love somebody else like immediately. Like if you're looking like, oh, I'm sad, I'm like lonely, blah blah. I'll just like get someone to fall in love with me. I'll fall in love with them. Bam, everything will be good. No, like it's not. Doesn't work like that. You got to really love yourself to be able to like truly love someone else, because like it's a back and forth. It is a back and forth. Like I can say that I'm in a super healthy, like happier relationship. Like gonna hopefully get married this year, already engaged, blah blah blah. Like I think I figured it out for my own self. Maybe it'll help you. I don't know. But Spencer said, until you love yourself so much that like the love is overflowing and it'll start to become like painful. Like it switches. It's not like loneliness. It's all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, like I have like all of this in me. I need to give it to someone else. Like ideally, it's like your partner, and you can build a life with them. Become like I tell my fiance, like we are a unit. There's not just David anymore. Like I am one with you in a manner of speaking. And that can spread to your nation, to your neighborhood, the people you work with, ideally to people you fucking hate. Like, cause then like you can like help conquer your own demons. It seems like. Anyway, that's what I got out of it. I can't say that like if you have you've never like struggled or meditated or never, you know, if it's just you're jumping on point to self-mastery, or like not even self-mastery, just like, you know, trying to change your thoughts, change the voice in your head, that endless chatter in the skull. This is a good book to do so. It spoke to me at the time, like, and I'll highly recommend this book right here, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. Thanks for listening.